So looking at this one, between 8 and 2, is there a factor that they share? What do they share? 2. So I need to divide both by what?
2.
What's 8 divided by 2?
No, it's not.
It's 4. And then what's 2 divided by 2? What's 4 divided by 1?
4.
You're good. Come on in. I think Kylan was my last one. No, it's Jordan. Leave it cracked for me, Kylan. You're good. Just put y'all's computers away. Charge them this evening, because if you don't get into them today in your other classes, I'll be able to help everybody at the same time tomorrow. Just charge them this evening. Okay, we're on the front page backside of the notes from yesterday. All right, looking at number 5. Is there a common factor between 7 and 21? Those who saw this way, do you need me to show you the factor tree for 7 and 21, or are you good? You need to see the factor tree? Okay, so let's look at 7. What multiplies to get 7?
7.
And
1.
there we go. That's all, right? Because 7 is prime. Let's look at 21. What multiplies to get 21?
7, 3.
1 and 21, right? And then 7 and 3. So what's the greatest one between the two?
7.
So what do I need to divide both of these by?
7.
What's 7 divided by 7?
1.
What's 21 divided by 7?
3.
The cheat code is, if you do the factor tree right, guess what was left next to that 7? And what was next to this 7? So what was left? Any questions there? Everybody good? Okay. Looking at number 6. Looking at 10 and 25. Is there a common factor between the two? 5. That's the greatest one between the two. So what's 10 divided by 5?
2.
And what's 25 divided by 5? Is everybody okay with typing this into the calculator as well? Okay, make sure you're typing in along with us if you're unsure. Remember, practice makes perfect. Muscle memory is the best way to understand math, because it's more than just conceptual. You have to know how to type this in. So if you're not sure how we got the 5 down there, it's 25 divided by 5. So use that grade button at the top. 25 divided by 5. Any questions there? We good to keep going? Do we need to see the factor tree for 16 and 24? Would that help? Okay. Let me grab a sticky note because I don't have a lot of space. So for 16, what's the very first factors of 16? 1 and 16, right? And then that could be broken down into, what was it? 8 and 2. Can 8 be broken down further?
Yes.
Into what?
2 and 4.
2 and 4, right? And then this could be broken down into what?
2 and 2.
Everybody good on that factor tree? Let's look at 24. Okay, what's the most basic factors? 1 and 24. And then how could 24 be broken down? 2 and 12. There we go. How can 12 be broken down? 6 and 2, right? And then
2 and 3.
2 and 3. So we can see all these factors, yes? Do you see one that's common between the two?
2.
Not 2, but 4. So if we're looking at this one, we get 4 over 6, right? But that's not the biggest one. So what would be the biggest between these two that you can't see? So you're wondering, Miss Lipsey, where does that come from, right? It comes from how you broke this down. So if you broke this down a little bit differently, you'd be able to see it a little bit better, right? But here's the 8. 2, 4, 8. Does that make sense? The what I just did, as I said, 2 times 2 times 2, which is what?
8.
So what's the greatest one?
8.
Are you still with me? Everybody still there? You have to find factors by breaking it down a certain way, and that's what I'm trying to get you to see. Because with 8, what is 16 divided by 8?
2.
And what is 24 divided by 8? I just did it in the calculator. What's 24 divided by 8? Are these two prime now? That's what you're looking for. That's the fully reduced form. Does that make sense? You have to multiply because they're factors, right? So 2 times 2 times 2 gets you that 8 that we're looking for right here. And it's in each part of it. Do you see it? So your factor tree is correct. This is right. You just have to figure out where the 8 came from, okay? So this is not something I'm expecting you to know overnight. That's why I'm working on it with you, okay? So I'm going to divide these by what? 8. So what's 16 divided by 8?
2.
Mm-hmm. And then 24 divided by 8 is?
3.
Is there any more factors between 2 and 3?
Freshman's last name, LMN, LM or N. Be paid online or have cash at the main office, or not the main office, the main hall.
Perfect. Savon, do you not have yours? Do you not need to send you a remind message this evening as well? Okay, just make sure y'all are in it, okay? If I don't see that you're in it by 3 o'clock, I'll just shoot a message to your parent and say, hey, this is just a reminder, nothing bad. Just have them bring their stuff in, okay? So, from here, do we need to do 36 and 24? More people said yes than no. Do you need to see the factor tree for this? Okay, so what's the factors between 36 and 24? Are you sure? What's 36 divided by 6?
6.
What's 24 divided by 6?
12.
Is there a common factor between 6 and 4?
2.
So is that enough?
No.
Mm-mm. So what do you think the actual greatest common factor is?
3.
No, not quite. If you have to take out more, it's actually greater than 6. So I'm thinking we might need to talk about this one. What do you think? So, factors of 36, what's the most basic one?
1 is 36.
How can 36 be broken down?
6. 6.
Not quite. Try to think a little bit bigger. Hmm. 12 and 3. Did you say that, Stavon?
I said 3.
Then thank you. Say 3 out loud. I couldn't hear you back there. All right, how can 12 be broken down?
6 and 2.
6 and 2, right? Or 3 and 4. Those work. And then 3 and 2, yeah? Let's look at 24. We just did this one, right?
Can you move up a little bit?
Yeah. What's the most basic one?
1.
Then? Do I need to go any further? What's the greatest common factor?
12.
So it should have been 12 as opposed to 6, right? So let's fix that. So, just a second. I'm looking for my little whiteout, but I think she better not came in here and took my whiteout. Y'all remind me to go and fight this other teacher for taking my stuff. Now we gotta fight. Oh no, you're good, baby. I have some. It's just she keeps taking all my ones that I have on my desk. She'll come in here and say, I should borrow that, and just take it. We love to see it. Not really. Because then it just puts me in a dilemma to find my extras. So, it's okay. I got it. One thing about a teacher, they gonna have supplies. Alright, so, let's change this to a 12. You have an eraser, I have a pen, so I have to be a little bit more creative. New whiteout stinks sometimes. There we go. So we just got to take that away. Alright, there we go. So, 12. So what's 36 divided by 12?
6.
You just did it.
3.
3. And what's 24 divided by 12?
2.
Is there any other factors between 3 and 2? Any questions there? And the biggest thing I saw from some people in here is do not flip it. Do not flip it, okay? If the big number is on top, you leave it on top, okay? That's called an improper fraction. In Algebra 1, you have to get used to those. They're gonna happen, okay? We're not changing the mixed numbers anymore, and most of your answers are gonna be left as a fraction unless specified otherwise. Jordan, make sure you're leaning up. Jordan, lean up. Sit up. You too, Kyla. What's gonna happen if I have to tell y'all to keep leaning up and sitting up?
4.
If you're tired, what should you go grab? A clipboard, because is that better than getting a write-up? Is that better than me calling mom and dad? Is that better than me having to send you on your way to ALC and ramp? Because if I have to do that, you're doing it by yourself. I'm going to come and see you for 15 minutes max, and then you're doing it by a video. Do I make myself clear? Sit up, pay attention. Looking at number 9, the directions say perform each operation, reduce each fraction if possible. Do not write your answers as mixed numbers. Do not write your answers as decimals. So we're looking for a least common denominator, if we know that correctly. This goes with example number 2. So if we're looking at this, just a second. What denominators am I working with for number 9? 4 and 3. So I need to look for multiples of 4 and 3, right? So, what's multiples of 4? 4.
Oh, 4.
Uh-huh. 8.
8.
We should probably stop there, right? What's the multiples of 3?
3, 6, 9.
3, 6, 9, 12. So what's my least common multiple between the two? One more time? 12. So, I'm rewriting these to match that, yes? So, 1/4 has to change into something over 12. So, what needs to happen here? Times it by 3. So, what you do at the bottom, you have to do to the what? What's 1 times 3? What needs to happen next? Do the same thing to 2 over 3. It needs to change into something over 12. Times by 4. This is the work I was missing on some people's paper. And I know that you were getting caught up on how to do it. Reference those old problems, okay? Because I don't do examples like this for you not to model the same way. Does that make sense? Take the time, write the work, read the work, okay? So, what's 2 times 4?
8.
So what do I need to do from here?
Add.
So what would I write? Equals what? Are you missing something? Over 12, because should the denominator stay? Yep. Any questions there? Everybody good? Making sense? Alright, let's look at 10. What are my 2 denominators?
4 and 2.
Now, is this one the same kind of complexity as number 9? No, because what do we know about 4 and 2?
More than
One's not far away from the other one. They have a common factor, right? And they have a common multiple of what?
8. 4.
Because what's the very first multiple of 4?
4.
And what's the second multiple of 2?
4.
So what's the least common denominator?
4.
Yes, sir. You may. There's some right up there. So what's my least common denominator?
4.
So how would I rewrite this? What do I need to do? 3 over 4
Plus 1
has changed into something over 4, right? So what's going to happen there? Times it by 1. What's 3 times 1? What do I need to do next? Into something over 4, right? What needs to happen there? Times it by 2. What am I multiplying?
2 times 2. 1 times 2 is 2.
And then what do I do from there?
Add them.
So what am I going to rewrite? 3 over 4 plus 2 over 4.
5 over 4. 21.
No mixed numbers. I know. It's hard. So, is there any other factors between 5 and 4? Can't be simplified any further. Does this make more sense to those who are messing up on this? Okay. Let's look at number 11. So, what denominators am I working with? 2 and 3. From there, what are the multiples of 2?
2 plus 6.
Multiples of 3?
36.
What's my greatest, my greatest common multiple or my least common multiple?
6.
So my least common denominator is?
6.
So what am I going to do here?
Rewrite.
So rewrite 1/2.
To either 6.
Mm-hmm. And those who weren't in here, I'm currently recording this to upload it. So if you missed something, it's all going to be there. Just go back and watch the video this afternoon. Okay? So, what am I multiplying?
1 times 2.
Which is?
36.
There we go. And then? We're changing the next one. Yeah, you can close it. Because I think the only one I'm missing is EN. Times it by 2.
The names O through S, please come to the multi-purpose room for your laptops. Freshmen's names O through S.
2 over 6.
2 over 6. So how do I set this up?
36
Which gets?
1 over 6.
Perfect. Because it can't simplify any further. Any questions? Yes, sir.
So you don't have to simplify?
I said can't simplify any further. No. But it says right here, reduce each fraction if possible. So do you need to check it each time?
Well, I've got a negative 2 over 6, so I don't have to, like... do I
Baby,
have to
what?
simplify?
You have to subtract. So it's 3 minus 2, which is 1
yeah.
over 6. Are there any other factors between 1 and 6 other than 1? No. So is that fully simplified?
Yeah.
Yes. So this is simplified. Do you have to simplify each time? Yes. Because isn't that what we just covered up here? Yes. So they go hand in hand. Does that make sense, Devon? There you go. I'm going to do 12 with you. I'm going to leave the rest of the practice for you to work on, okay? So, looking at this, what are my denominators? 11 and 4. So, my question to you is 11 prime? Yes, because what multiplies to get 11?
1 and 11.
1 and 11. So, do I need to think too hard on this one? I can just multiply these two together, right? So, what's 4 times 11? 44, right? So, my least common denominator is 44. So, I'm going to write that up there. Because if you would have went down the list, it would have been 11, 22, 33, 44. But if you were to do number 4's list, it would have went all the way down to the 11th multiple, which is still 44. So, pick your struggle, but know what you need to do. Does that make sense? So, I need to change 9 over 11 into something over 44, correct? Multiply by 4. So, what's 9 times 4? 36. What needs to happen next? Absolutely. So what's the new fraction? Perfect. So what do I need to do from there? So what am I rewriting? So what am I typing into the calculator? Should everybody be typing this in? We're typing it all in together. That way we're holding ourselves accountable. What am I typing into the calculator? Thank you. Get that typed in for me, please, and thank you. Give your people time to type it in. So 36 plus 55. Jordan, leave it on the desk. Put it flat on the desk. Leave it there. Type with us. What'd y'all get? What'd y'all get? Can this be simplified any further? How can I check this quickly in the calculator? And then what do I need to do? Not second, just math 1, enter, right? Did it give you anything different? So is this fully simplified? Yep. Any questions there? Everybody good?
Yes, ma'am.
So 13 through 30 are yours to work on individually, okay? You have until Friday to get it done, so do not play with it. You have the remaining on that practice. So, I'm about to come around with your one for today. Yes, ma'am? What do you mean? This one? It's the rest of the practice. That's what I said, the rest are yours to do. So we're doing multiplying and dividing today. That's what I'm getting into. I'm about to come around with your sheet. Make sure your name and date's on there. The topic is already there. I was you saying something to me. I was like, you gotta speak a little louder to me. You just bring it to me, I'll punch it. Perfect. And you just grab it all fast.